Good morning. Welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11, or on Twitter you can find me at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at the pitching for today, Tuesday, May 2nd. After an interesting night of pitching that was just a pile overall, we get a 12-game main slate that has quite a few names that I like to get exposure to generally. So we're going to have to trim down our list quite a bit. On a slate of 12 games, I probably aim to get my DK pitcher pool down to about 8 guys, maybe 10 if it's just such a strong pitching pool. But generally, we're aiming for 8. And then on FanDuel, I try to cut that almost in half. 4 to 5 would be my goal, just because it's tougher for some of these cheaper guys to get there on FanDuel based on the scoring. Um, but yeah, so let's take a look here quick. The top, I guess, game for pitching for me, as we see some weather potentially. Looking at our weather station, doesn't really look like there should be any kind of weather in New York, rain wise. So, uh, but the Garrett Cole versus the rookie Tanner Bibby. Tanner looked absolutely amazing in his first start. Now he takes on a Yankees lineup that is extremely weak, with everybody hurt. And then obviously Garrett Cole. Not much needs to be said about Cole. Uh, Obviously elite numbers. He only struck out 3 in his one start against Cleveland this year, but Herman struck out a bunch last night. So uh, you know they can be struck out. It's just not as easy. But I think we still have to consider Garrett Cole at 11.5K on this slate. Reason being is obviously Bibby is cheap. We have Bryce Miller making his debut, who's the min price. Mason Miller has some K upside at 5,700. So there are some names down at the bottom that we're going to be considering. So Garrett Cole at 11.5 makes a ton of sense. Uh, I wanted to use Joe Ryan today, but uh, the weather in Chicago, being cold, but with the wind blowing out to center at 17 miles an hour, uh, I'm not really sure I want to get involved in that at 10.5K. Obviously, a big fan. He's been throwing the ball ridiculously well. But I think for me, I'd probably just rather go up to Cole, or definitely going to prefer to go down to Zach Gallen. Interesting spot. Hasn't allowed a run in each of his last 4 starts. Has 11 plus Ks in 3 of those 4 starts. Taking on a Texas offense that has been denting the scoreboard a bit. So it's an interesting spot, but I believe this has one of the lowest totals on the slate. Zach Gallen is elite, and I don't care what anybody says. I've been shouting that for uh, over a year. So he is somebody that I am going to be heavy on again. Hunter Brown makes a lot of sense to me. San Francisco can strike out. Houston needs him to go deep in this game as well. After Luis Garcia left after one batter last night, the bullpen was used quite a bit. So they do need this 7 inning Hunter Brown to show up tonight. And if he goes 7 innings tonight, it's going to be hard for me to not think that he puts up a 25 spot in this game. So Hunter Brown is definitely going to be in my pool and somebody that I will try to go overweight on. Uh, it's tougher to go extremely overweight on guys on a 12 game slate, because I will end up with the 8 to 10, like I said. Um, so we talked about fading Joe Ryan, playing, the 3 guys around him. I'm going to have to dig in more for the Ashcraft versus Walker matchup. I'm an Ashcraft fan. His walks have been up, Ks have been down. I don't really like to see that, so I may play the wait and see game with Ashcraft to see him bounce back, but we'll add him kind of to the fade list for now. Uh, I will update members at DFS Army later if my stance changes. Looking at some other names, I am going to be playing some Freddie Peralta. Dangerous in Colorado, I get it. Colorado's lineup isn't that great overall. The wind is blowing straight out in Colorado, so there's some worries. But I know what kind of K upside Peralta offers. I will dig in more to his numbers later throughout the day. So that is another one I will update the members of DFS Army with. But right now, I am planning on probably going with 5 to 10% of Freddie Peralta on DraftKings, just to be a little different, because people automatically just eliminate pitching from Coors, and I think that can be a mistake. So I'm going to try to take advantage of that at times. Obviously, I mentioned Tanner Bibby. Mentioned Bryce Miller making his debut. Considered the Mariners' best pitching prospect. He gets a great matchup. He has struggled this year. It looks like I haven't dug into his minor league numbers yet this season, but he was extremely good last year. Um, it's just when you get a starting pitcher um, who, even as a prospect, has hype around him, and you get him at the min price, like it's really impossible to not want to get a number of shares in your MME build. And another name, I mean, we could talk about Mason Miller. I'm going to talk about Matt Strahm. The way he's thrown the baseball as a starting pitcher is extremely impressive. You know, after spending the last couple years as a reliever, he's gone for 24 plus DK points in 3 of his last 4 starts. He has allowed 0 runs in 3 of 5. The 11K seems to be an outlier, I think, but the K per with maybe upside to 7Ks over 5 innings is really intriguing. Not sure why the drop back down in pitches last game. Uh, I know I mentioned it to Army members that it's possible they just did it to kind of limit him. The ramp up to 82, come back down a little bit, and then re-ramp back up. That is worrisome. Obviously, the Dodgers as an opponent, a little worrisome, but the Dodgers kind of rely on so many left-handed hitters that I think Strom is actually in a decent spot. Uh, Feels more like a Freddie Peralta-ish 5 to 10% play right now, but I am very interested to see what kind of a lineup the Dodgers send out there, because I think he can be a sneaky play at 6,900 on DraftKings uh, for GPP SB2 numbers. So there we have it. Kind of a quick look at the pitching options. I could have talked about a bunch more guys on the slate: Disclafani, Urias, Michael Waka, even Tyler Wells going against Kansas City. Certainly in play option. But we do have to take some stands on pitching on slates that are 12 games. So uh, I'm going to try to make the best stands that I can and give myself the best chance to take down some GPPs tonight. If you like what I bring to you every day, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn the notifications on for the DFS Army YouTube channel. I know they drop videos throughout the day. If you want to join us at DFS Army, you can head to the links in the description below. Use promo code RAZ, it's Raz, for 10% off your monthly membership. And as always, best of luck, everybody.